Good morning, William Merrick. I'm Benny Zhang, the Flathead Online Section Editor, and I'm joined with the class of 2016 Senate race today. And I guess these are all the candidates, so I guess each of them are going to introduce themselves. Keon?
Hello, William Merrick. My name is Keon Barrett.
Hi, Ryan Corcoran.
Hello, Daniel Ackerman.
Hello, Tribe. I'm Gabriel Mori.
Hi, I'm Seth Opoku-Yaboa.
Okay, so my first question is, why did you decide to participate in the Senate race this year?
William Merrick, I decided to participate in the Senate race this year because I'm very passionate about serving others, serving students specifically. I wanted to get more involved in student government, making decisions, being the voice of students who don't necessarily have a voice. Those students who struggle day to day, those students who think to themselves, maybe I'm not up to par, maybe I'm not ready to be a William and Mary. Those students who say to themselves, I contemplate committing suicide. I want to be the voice of those students. I want to be the voice of the students who are not heard on this campus. I just want to get across their interests, their passions, make sure that they have support and that they have someone that they can talk to, someone they can lean on, and someone who is dedicated to serving them and creating a quality experience at the College of William and Mary.
Very good.
All right, very good answer. I guess for me, it's more about I have a real interest in politics. I was in D.C. this weekend and saw the Capitol building and Library of Congress, and I guess, it kind of inspires me, all this, the national political action in the United States, and I'm involved in several political organizations on campus, and I thought that I'd throw my name into the hat for this race, because this is really something I'd like to be involved in.
Since I did run, I'm one of the only two candidates running now who ran 6 months ago. My answer is a little bit different since I'm kind of coming in with a bit more experience. I'm running because this last 6 months the Student Assembly's done some wonderful things. They've brought the Dalai Lama to school, they're bringing Kendrick Lamar, STI testing, Tribe Rides Act, airport shuttles, just to name a few. And I think it's important that we follow through the success of the last 6 months with another year, and then another year beyond that. But I find it very important that for this next year there's a lot of experience within the leadership. For that reason, I believe that I would like to model the next year off the already very successful last 6 months. There are a few things that have always motivated me. When I first ran, one of the most important things to me was mental health. And with the Tribe Rides Act, we were able to ensure that a local organization was able to receive $3,000 for the transportation needs of those seeking medical health assistance. Over the next year, I would like to work specifically on another branch related to mental health, which, not just mental health, but health in general, which would be expanding medical amnesty across a broader sense, a broader territory than just the university. I'm talking off campus in Williamsburg, and then throughout the state, or throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you.
Well, there are a couple reasons why I wanted to run for SA Senate. Partly going off of what Daniel just said. I've watched what SA has done this year, and I've been very impressed with the work that they've done, especially on the mental health awareness and the gender-neutral housing proposal that's been put forth before them. I'd love to be a part of that board next year. I think it's going to be a very big year for William and Mary's Student Assembly, and I want to be involved in the work that they do that affects all of us as students. I'm on the RHA right now, and my work there I've been able to see just what a difference a group of students coming together for the common purpose of the college can do for everyone. And I think that SA is the next step up. I can help more people. I can ensure that our budget is strong and secure for years to come, while making sure that every individual organization and program on campus gets the funding it needs. Like Ryan, I'm deeply interested in politics at the national level, and that has inspired me to want to run for office here at William & Mary. I see what a public office can do to benefit its constituents, whether it be funding the organizations and clubs they're in, providing free testing for medical conditions and sexually transmitted infections. I mean, there's a number of things that SA funding and clout goes into, and I would love to help the students of William & Mary and be there for all of Tribe. Thank you.
Like Gabriel, I come from a hall-based organization, which is Hall Council, and there I worked more to help residents in ways to better our hall, provide activities, just make it a fun experience for our first year at the college. And I think the next step up would be student assembly and working as part of the Senate and doing things to just provide a better experience for most students. And my interest in politics at the national level also drives my desire to work for student assembly and like seeing what they do at the national level and possibly getting a first-hand experience at, I guess, a lesser level would be something I'd very appreciate, and student assembly would offer that.
Is there an issue that drives your platform, your campaign in any way, like what Senator Ackerman was saying about mental health? And Senator Ackerman, if you have any other issue that you're passionate about, you can also mention about that. But is there an issue that really defines your campaign or anything like that?
I would say an issue that really defines my campaign would be making the essay more transparent. I heard from multiple students that I have associated with that they want to know more what the essay does. Many have asked me, what do senators do? What do the president do? What does the president do? The undergraduate council. They have a lot of questions, and I want to be able to answer those questions in the best way possible and to get them more involved in the process, making sure that, as I said before, that the student's voice is heard, and I want to make sure that students have a way to get involved also without being in the senator position or any positions. Making sure that if I'm elected senator, that we are able to branch out and to reach students on a regular basis and to ask them any questions that will pertain to things that they would want to get done.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on the point of transparency. I think that's a really good point to build a campaign off of. I think that the certain things right now that the Student Assembly is doing to build greater awareness of what their position on campus is good. I know I take advantage of the SWAM Snacks Act when you know, there's free fruit and other kinds of snacks in SWAM. I think that's great with the big Student Assembly sign on it. Another issue I personally believe in a national political role, and maybe even a lesser political role in the Student Assembly, is fiscal responsibility. I mean, I think probably was blown a little bit out of proportion the essay's budget this year, but we got to make sure that you're not getting too close to a level that if something happened that the essay really needs to fund, that you still have that ability to do. So I definitely think fiscal responsibility and a little bit more transparency, as you were talking about.
Like a bit to restate what I said earlier. Last year, my number one issue was mental health, and that still is my number one issue. But I'm adding to that another high priority issue for me, which is, like I said, expanding medical amnesty. It's not just here on campus, but it's also off campus at other universities and for hundreds of other underage teens throughout the state. Where every day there are people who need medical assistance but are afraid to seek it because of legal repercussions. And I think the number one thing that we should do with that policy issue is make people aware and change the laws accordingly so that they can seek the proper medical assistance they need, and then after they can seek the proper mental assistance they need to not go through the same route again. But I think it's it's more than just a one-way street. There's a lot of different angles that we have to work at. It's not something that just the Student Assembly can achieve. It's something that everybody will be joining. But that's more of a long-term project. It's obviously not something that can be done in a day or a month or maybe even a year. So that's one of those things to stay posted on. And we'll be sure to make everybody more aware and get everybody more involved in that. In addition, transparency, most certainly. It is important that people understand what the Student Assembly does. No matter how much the Flat Hat can write about us, and no matter how much we can advertise what we do, it's just, we do everything we can to explain services. People don't understand that we do have the highest student activities fee in the Commonwealth at $98. But if you compare us to a school like UVA, where if they were to charge half as much, they could bring in around the same amount of money. For that reason, while most schools have things like their 24-hour, 365-day libraries funded, the Student Assembly is the organization that funds the 24-hour libraries around the time of finals. There's a little fact that a lot of people might not understand. So like I said, I think it's important to spread awareness of different things that the Student Assembly funds, and with that comes increased transparency on its own.
Well, again, there are a couple reasons, there are a couple big issues that I'd love to see Student Assembly take up. Some of them are continuations from things that they've started this year, and others are new ones. I think the most exciting initiative in Student Assembly right now is the reorganization of the Senate and undergraduate councils, and the increased transparency, kind of to use the same talking point they've been going off of. That is a big issue, I think. A lot of students don't know what these individual bodies do. They don't know what the difference between the undergraduate council and the Senate is. I mean, every year at elections, they're bombarded with posters for senators, class presidents, VPs of advocacy, treasurers. There are just so many positions, and the average student is so involved in their own life, fairly enough, that I think it's a quite confusing system to them. I'd love to see it be reorganized. I'd love to see there be some greater public awareness of it, whether it is simply just getting our voice out by continuing to provide the snacks at SWEM and such, or whether or not we want to try to streamline it. That's a more extreme goal that I'm not saying I want to go in and reorganize the entire thing, but I'd be willing to look at the structure of SA and see how it can be made better to suit its students. Perhaps one thing we could do is see if RHA and SA, which represents student life as a whole and residence life, could communicate back and forth to each other and see if they could work on the same issues together. I think that would be a wonderful thing. They're two very talented boards, and I think that they could get a lot done that way. Also, I think that environmental sustainability is a big goal that we should start looking at. I mean, I know some of the other candidates, especially for the presidents, have talked about creating a recycling drive or a recycling competition. I say, great, let's start it. Let's see how we can start moving William and Mary to a sustainable position. And, maybe we'll say 30 years from now we want to try to be the first LEED certified campus. That's a goal we can't reach while I'm here, definitely. Not in the next 10 or 20 years, but we could start laying the groundwork. And lastly, for all these initiatives, we need to make sure that we have the budget for it. I agree that the budget issue that the Flat Hat reported on was blown a bit out of proportion. It's not as big a deal as it is now. It's something that will become a problem further down the road as we continue to want to put in new ideas and new programs, and as funding continues to get shrunk and contracted. I mean, the college as a whole and all universities are facing spending cuts from state governments. We're getting less money. 13% of our school's operating budget is from the state. And SA is funded by the student activity fee is pretty insulated from that. But we will still feel that pinch as spending gets cut to the school and as we try to do more with less. So those are the three big issues that I have.
I think taking from what he was saying about the consolidation of the undergraduate council and Senate, I think that's one of the big things going on right now, in that they may combine the positions of the Vice President of Advocacy and Social Affairs along with the Vice President and Secretary, and I think consolidating those different positions will offer for more transparency, more efficiency, and a more, I guess, effective Senate overall, because people who understand the positions, they'd want to take more of a role in it, and then that would offer more student input in things like AMP and SA partnerships and activities we would sponsor for our students. So I guess my biggest platform would be continue the consolidation of the undergraduate council and the Senate, along with increasing student input in the activities that we hold for the school.
Okay.